The right to earn a living is a human right. In section 22 of the human rights, it states if you are an employee who is qualified to work, that no employer can restrict you, can actually restrict you by coercion to retire or resign from your workplace. That is in the human rights document. So it is unlawful for an employer to do this. There are several descriptions of what discrimination looks like unlawfully. One of them is in employment. The other one is unlawful to restrict you from access to public places. Another one is unlawful to restrict you from goods and services. Yep. And yet, here we are, our Prime Minister is actually trying to do this unlawful act on all of us.
We won't be able to get haircuts.
We don't need a haircut. We also can't enjoy our summer apparently, but I will be enjoying my summer.
Absolutely.
We've also all heard her response recently that she's quite happy to create two classes of citizens.
How dare she?
So I know that there will be people here who are vaccinated and there will be people who are not vaccinated, and we're all standing together because we are not here to fight each other.
That's right.
This is not about attacking each one another. Our government has made a divisive for everybody, for families, for friends, for workmates, church family, drinking buddies, you name it, the whole lot. Now, my medical status, my vaccination status, is not your business, it's not my employer's business, and it's not the government body's business.
That's right.
Just like I don't care if you're about your vaccination status. Let me repeat myself. My medical information, your medical information, is private.
That's right. That's right.
It is personal, and it is in the Privacy Act as well. So go and check it out and use it.
Yep.
I hope you've got a long time because I've got a lot to say.
Yeah, good. Warming up.
Okay, we're all here with different views, and we don't have to share the same views. Okay, but we do need to listen to each other. We do need to be willing to have compassion for our vulnerable communities, but we also need to have compassion towards people who are being victimised for whatever reason that they choose not to have the vaccine. This should never be about segregation, blaming or shaming, and yet that's what's happening. The media, our government are shaming you. They are making you feel like you are a lower class citizen because you choose your medical, what goes into your body. This is not anti-vax. Most people I talk to have had vaccinations. It's nothing about anti-vax. They like to put that conspiracy theory rubbish out there. I'm a school teacher. I've had vaccinations every year for the flu. We're not anti-vax at all, but I'm sure they'll use that against us. People who are unvaccinated are humans, and you all have rights. You are brothers, sisters, mothers, children, husbands, wives, workmates, like I said, drinking buddies, church family. We're all family. However, let me make something else clear though. We're not a team. We're not a team of 5 million, and we never were. We are individuals. We are communities. We are families with different values, different beliefs, and we are never going to be a team of 5 million. We are not, you are not us. We're not, Jacinda's not us. And you're not part of her family. She's not there protecting your family. When has the government ever talked about family, uplifting and valuing family?
Never. It's the opposite.
You sure? Instead of focusing on the family unit, they rush through bills which a majority of us actually disagree with. And yet now they tell us that they want to protect your health. All of your health, they want to protect it because they've been doing that for years, right? You know, the unqualified, incompetent ministers who legalise synthetic drugs, for example. Many of us know the consequences of that, right, in our community.
Yep.
For years, have they done anything to prevent all the diseases from smoking or drinking or obesity? But we can trust them. That's your one source of truth. Because they know it all and are so experienced, these unqualified, incompetent ministers. As a teacher, I'm actually astounded that our government don't want you to engage your brain.
Exactly.
For almost 20 years, I've been teaching children how to critically analyse information. Children. And yet, here we have adults in power telling adults, we'll do your thinking for you. I question everything. Why wouldn't you encourage people to question? I've met a lot of you. Some of you are teachers here, some of you are medical people. Over the last month, I've had many phone calls, many emails, and it's gut-wrenching. The stories. Husbands and wives who are in the school, who are losing their jobs next week, in a couple of weeks. No income. Hopefully that was the fall. We're supposed to be in a democracy, not a totalitarian, I think I got that wrong, state ruling with an iron fist. Where's the kindness in that? We should not be fighting each other or our family or friends. If there's one thing you take away from today, because there's a lot of messages here, I want you to remember that we're not fighting each other. We're not fighting our families. Not only is it immoral and unlawful, it is not logical to push qualified, valuable medical staff out of their professions, out of their livelihoods. The very essential workers that a year ago you were calling heroes. They were our heroes while the medical sector and the education sector held some of your families together while you were all in lockdown and they had to work. And now we're dismissing them.
Double standards.
Has this government done due diligence in rolling out a mandate? They rushed through bills and now they're rushing through a mandate giving you one month's notice. Many of you have been working in those places for years and even decades. I wanted to speak today for the medical and the education sector. This was a month ago I planned this, and since then there's a lot more of industries that are in the same boat. However, it also became very real for me recently. So I am a school teacher, but I'm at university studying a law degree, and if I want to be relief teaching while I'm trying to get through my degree, I can't go back and relief teach. Something else happened though. 2 weeks ago I got an email, because I foster children from the disability sector. I had an email 2 weeks ago that told me that I needed to give evidence of my vaccination status tomorrow. I haven't responded to that. Are they going to take children from homes when there's very few carers out there looking after these children, putting more trauma on top of trauma that they have already had for most of their childhood? So yes, it became very real for me as well. What damage are we causing to people now through mental health, the threats of job loss, anxiety about their livelihood? Could all this be worse than the virus itself? In a year, are we going to say it was worth it? That all these people's lives were worth it?
No way.
Did it outweigh their rights? Can we do better?
Yeah.
Much.
Can we do better by still being cautious while allowing others a right to earn?
Yes.
I'm going to answer that. Because I want to highlight something really important now, just before I finish and hand over to the next person. Now, all our speakers today have got key messages, so please try and hang around for the last of it. This is monumental a time to be speaking. Ministers in Parliament have not been mandated to have vaccines.
No, that's right. Why is that? That's right. Why is that? Isn't that? Yeah, exactly.
There are mayors, there are people in prominent positions who are also not vaccinated. Now, I'm not attacking them because many of them are actually speaking out for you, for all of us. And they are wonderful making a stand. However, recently I saw an article from Auckland Mayor Phil Goff. And this was his statement about these people who are not getting their vaccination. So let's see about the inconsistency between all those people who are getting fired next week and some others. Phil Goff said, officials on council not jabbed will be required to do their job in a different way.
Sorry.
Can you all do your job in a different way instead of getting fired then? I'm calling that we do it a better way. That we the people expect our government to listen and not ruin the careers of thousands of our families and friends, because they are us.
Yeah.
I'm calling on our Prime Minister to stop, to listen, to work with people. Pardon? One last thing before I hand over. Sorry, no, I've probably said that twice now. I just received this morning an updated peer review study. It's just in. Vaccinated people are just as likely to spread COVID as unvaccinated people. So you'll be able to see that for yourself shortly. I'm going to hand over to... Who am I handing over to? I'm going to hand over to Bronnie. Now, Bronnie's a counsellor, so she is speaking as a counsellor. And then we have Chris O'Brien, who is a project manager from Mental Health.
Yay.
Then we have a wonderful young lady, who's, I think she's about 16 or 17, a student at a college where they're going to bring in the vaccines on Monday. And she's a very brave young lady, so she's going to come up after Bronnie. And then we've got a concerned citizen as well. So please stick around for these important messages. And I will, at the end, be calling an action for our next stage. Thank you.